Welcome to the Worldies. This is the reading for June 2025. Remember that I'm doing these readings midterm in June because my readings tend to see or reveal into more than what's going on this month. So that's why I don't do them in the first part of the month. I do it like around the mid of the month. Okay. So if you want a personal reading, you can go to the website 11n.com/theworldis. You can find the links down below in the description. I do video calls on WhatsApp, Instagram, Zoom. So you can contact me through Instagram, WhatsApp as well. If you want my WhatsApp, you just have to go to the website 11n.com/theworldis, and then there is another link that says store, and you can book a session. I only charge $12 per hour, so as long as you can pay, for example, if you want 10 minutes, you can pay the portion of $12. For 10 minutes, I think is $2, about $2, I think. Okay. So the tariff is $12 per hour. I'm doing this reading from Baynard in Atacama, Chile. My name is Alan. You can call me Air. That's like my nickname in here. You can just call me Air. So, for the introduction, welcome to the Worldies. This is for June 2025, and we can actually see something beyond June. Okay, so this is just the reading that I'm doing today. It doesn't mean that everything is going to happen between this month or this week and things like that. It's just something that we are going to know this month. Okay, just have that in mind because it's a general reading about the planet. So come on, let's start with the first card. Let me see. What is the situation that we need to know about the entire planet today? Come on, Becky, give me one card. Okay. What's this about? Please tell me. And what could be the advice that people want or have to know for this situation, God? Deki and God. Lately, I've been talking to my decks. It's so funny. Like, Deki, give me a card. Cool. Oh, good. I like this. Okay, so the first message that we have for this global reading is that a lot of people is gonna be engaged in a very judgmental way of watching or experiencing the world. A lot of people is gonna be feeling superior than others, and a lot of people is gonna be feeling inferior, or this is the energy of fighting and comparing different things like they were the same thing. And obviously that's something that humans tend to do because we're just the human race or the human species, but between us there is always this sense of some are better than others, some are stronger than others, weaker than others. And this psychological thing that people tend to feel superior or inferior than others, and they feel ashamed, for example, for not being able to perform or to have a status or being part of a class like the elite, or being part of the middle class, or being part of the classes below middle class, and or thinking that we are part of a class. So I think that is the main thing the spirit and this deck wants us to know about what's going to happen or what's going on in June. And well, at least in this reading, it could be happening in June and in the following months or weeks. There is a lot of focus on how people perceive each other, how states perceive each other, and how they differentiate each other in base of certain characteristics that are more external than internal, and that tend to invalidate the individuality and the individual virtues of each other. So the advice for this phenomenon or this thing that's gonna be happening around the world. So if you got to this reading, you probably are gonna be surrounded by people that's comparing to themselves or themselves with another people or another group, and there is probably like your country is comparing to another country, or they're fighting each other, and each of you are gonna be saying, oh, we're better than you because we have this and this and that, and the other one is gonna be saying like, yeah, the other one is stronger because they have this and we don't have this. It's all this comparison because of statistics, income, GDP, education, culture, like how people perceive each other in base of judgments and prejudices and cultural choices, religious choices. And the thing is that is when you're in that space, it feels like it is so real because it is part of a psychological perspective. So when you are, for example, in a group that believes that the country next to you is weaker than you because they have less, material things, for example, then you are gonna experience this in your personal life as well. People in your group is gonna be comparing each other, and for example, you are gonna be feeling less than other people, even between your own group, because there is like a cultural or traditional way in which trying to appear like something you are not, for example, and ignoring individual skills and talents, and just normalizing certain qualities or things that are thought as more valuable than others, especially in regards to strength, money, power, possessions, status, class, those kinds of things. Okay, so that's something that we need to probably think about. What are the effects that this situation is going to have with us, and we will also be seeing that around the world, at least for a while. Okay, from now on, at least for a while, it seems like we're going to be seeing this a lot. The advice for this, I took a long time with this. So the advice for this is to remember when we were younger. At first, remember when we were younger and we didn't actually see any of these differences, between things, you know. It's so interesting. It's like, remember when you were younger and you actually saw the world like full of color and marvelous, interesting, like diverse place, and you were so it's like curiosity, but you were so mesmerized by the differences, and you actually didn't compare to that. You just saw the light and the colors within the light. And this is also because this month is Pride Month. So I don't think the most important thing is seeing one group of people as more important, you know, but at the same time, it's not about saying that they are less important, you know. This reading today in June is like, there are different things in this world and they have a different place on the planet. Like literally, it doesn't even speak about only humans. It says, this reading is so cool because it says that not only humans they show themselves as different, you know, to each other, like they are individuals, but around the world, there's also this magnificent thing. It's like, for example, if we started to just kill plants that are poisonous, for example, we wanted them to disappear, like, you know, destroy them all. Like, you gotta go out of here. We only want eatable plants on the planet. All the plants that don't do anything for us, then we just gonna get rid of them. And all the animals that we cannot eat, then rid of them, you know. All the animals that are dangerous for us, then exterminate them all, you know. And this is like the energy that surrounds this reading, you know. Like, and we have to understand that we humans choose to have this kind of perspective, but the planet and the universe, the message, the divine message for this reading is that actually that is a little bit illusory or fake. It is an illusion, dream that we probably will never achieve, especially because the natural world is much, much complex. And if we wanted to do the same thing that we do each other as humans, it will be probably a fight that we cannot win. And also, this is like literally say, like, if we wanted to do the same thing that we do to each other with the natural world around us, like if we want to just exterminate one thing, it says that the results will be so catastrophic and also like completely out of what we actually wanted to get, which is so cool. I love it. Thank you for this message. So let me see something more. So that's the energy that we have for this month. This reading, I'm doing it a little bit more simple than the previous readings. But so I'm gonna be doing simple messages one by one. Okay. Let me see something else. What do we need to know? But now, what do we need to know about certain events that are gonna take place? Okay, Deki, show me one event that's gonna take place on the planet, on our human society, on the collective human society that we need to know, and then show me what is the advice for that. Okay, but then let's start with the event. What is going to happen? Deki, what is going to happen? Okay. So this time we have some cards, not just one. Some cards. Okay, cool. So I saw like figuring of a fish, which is so cool, beautiful. So fish is very relevant this month. Fish and things from, oh yeah, like fish and bombs. Oh no, like this thing has like the shape of a fish. It could be also a bomb, a missile. It could be submarines, things that have that kind of shape, like mammals that live in the sea, especially whales, sea lion. No, not so much sea lions, especially whales, dolphins. Yeah, those kind of things. Fish, sharks. That's relevant for this event. That's especially like around the world. So I see that probably things are going to happen on the ocean. That's what this reading is telling me, especially with this beautiful thing that happened here. But this omen also tells me that some things are going to be very beautiful, especially the tiny things that probably humans won't even know, or there is only certain people that are going to be taking interest on these things, probably like biologists or people interested in nature or people that live in the ocean, near the ocean. Certain things, beautiful things probably are going to be happening in regards to mammals that live in the sea. And a lot of people, if it is not so beautiful, it's going to be a little bit, your legs are going to be shaking because of something. I don't know, it reminds me to orcas, to killer whales, like they call them, orcas. Like if you see one and you are on the sea and the orcas are all around you, maybe you feel scared, or there is a shark or a big fish, and you feel scared, like, oh my god, they're gonna eat me, things like that. Okay, something like it. That's very, very, that message just happens to be very, very relevant for this month. And also missiles, torpedoes, bombs. Okay, torpedoes, bombs. I would like to say something else, but we know what's going to happen around the world, so probably that's going to be for a little bit, at least for some time, it's going to be relevant still. And going on with the other cards that I have here for you. A lot of people is going to be probably being on vacation. That's one thing. Some people is going to be on vacation. They're going to be taking time to heal, taking time to pray. A lot of people is going to be praying this month. A lot of people is going to be trying to get some peace on their minds. Maybe some of you are going to be also like social networks. Social networks probably are going to be having certain issues these times. Like when I say times or this time, like around this time, it could be like, I don't know, 1 month or a little bit more than 1 month, like these times kind of. There are going to be certain outages that could last for maybe 40 minutes, 4 hours, 4 days even. It is, and in situations in which people really need to rest, people probably just certain people that overstressed probably will be unable to keep on doing the same things that they want, and they could actually, the not so good thing about this card is that I think there could be certain events that are really, really like a wake-up call for certain individuals. Like, you cannot keep on doing this, you have to stop that. And the good thing is that you can just rest or recover from those difficult events. It could be accidents, or not so much accidents, but maybe communication, like having conflict. Yeah, like having conflict, or being too include yourself way too much in conflicts, especially in social networks, especially when you speak with other people, like going, for example, to protests or demonstrations. I think that maybe some people will have to, after going to these events, they will have to get a time to recover. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of conflict. There was a lot of conflict, and now there is a time maybe for people to just observe what it's gonna be manifesting after they dedicate some time to ask to the universe, to God, to spirit, to pray, even for their health. So I think people that it's been sick also will be asking and maybe taking some time to heal. And after that, we will see the effects of these prayers, or this time for introspection or healing or rest. And unfortunately, the bad thing about these things is this card, that some other people, there's a lot of people that's gonna be passing away as well. A lot of people that's gonna be passing away, and I think their families are gonna be mourning them in these times. I wouldn't like to say this, but in the most negative part of this card, I think that could be happening. A lot of people is gonna be buried. There are gonna be a lot of funerals, and maybe those funerals won't be so crowded. It will be when you just have to bury bodies without certain rituals or religious ceremonies, because there is no time for that. Okay, because it happened in a catastrophic event, for example, or an accident and things like that. And because before this card, we have the card of betrayal and defeat, surrender as well. So certain things happen before this time that are not so cool, like at all. So but in the best side of this card, a lot of people is going to be taking care to recover, okay, to rest. Maybe if you've been having a lot of conflict around you, this reading is a call for you to rest. Okay, to rest a little bit more. To rest. My New Zealand accent. Okay. Moving on. I'm doing a lot of messages with each card. So moving on. In regards to this time, there's a lot of things that we are not going to be able to understand. There are certain things that are going to be revealed with time, or certain things that we as a society intuitively get, but that we cannot even say, for example. So I think that this time is not for talking a lot, for example, for expressing our beliefs. It is more of a time to be introspective, because with the previous thing that I saw is that the social network fight, the politics is going to be very, very black and white kind of thing. And so probably there is going to be a lot of people becoming more silent because of these conflicts happening worldwide. So a lot of people is going to be rather silent. They're going to be, at least, in the close future, they're not going to be engaging in that. and probably because they're dealing with certain deep point in their lives or in their communities. Okay, so I think that with this reading, people is recognizing that fighting and speaking, going out, and is probably not for this time, because when you do that, when they did that, they only like compromised themselves, their health, their peace of mind, and now they actually are dealing with the consequences of that past and previous conflict that happened. So I think a lot of people that's been getting into like is fightings or on the social networks especially, like it's been good. Like it's been a lot of people is gonna be like probably taking a rest from that, or some are not gonna take a rest. So that's why in this reading I'm saying that like probably the healthiest people, or the people that really are noticing that this is not gonna be good for them, is gonna be taking a rest. The other ones are not gonna be taking a rest, and they're probably gonna be compromising themselves more in regards to fighting each other, especially like engaging in conflicts and being too overly aggressive. So some event that's gonna be happening from this moment is there's gonna be a lot of secrets, secret plans. It's all planned. It's all planned. Maybe for a long time. Some people really know these things, or they get like they have the intuition that things around the world have been planned and meticulously orchestrated. And so yeah, the energy of secrecy or planning in secret plans, secret agendas, people having conspiracy theories is going to be really strong these times from now on, like for a while. And also like literal betrayal probably between allies in the global geopolitical sphere. A lot of people is going to be feeling like, oh, we used to be allies, and now I feel like you're having something against me. I don't know, but I can sense something, or I clearly see that what you're saying is not aligned with your actions, because it doesn't seem like we are working like we used to work. Like it seems like you want to take advantage of me, or you actually took advantage of me, of my neutrality, or my me being an ally, me being your friend, your partner, things, etc., etc. And certain people is kind of recognizing in the bigger political sphere, there's gonna be certain figures, especially leaders and people, famous people, that are gonna be showing, explaining that they feel betrayed by others, or they're gonna be speaking very rude or mean about other people that's very famous. That's the main thing. And obviously they're gonna be explaining a lot. They're not gonna be explaining a lot. So in social networks, people are gonna be saying like, oh yeah, this happened because of this and because of that, even though they don't say that. Kind of energy. So certain events are gonna happen with famous people, recognized people, politicians, probably as social network influencers, everything that's famous and everything that's followed, like the masses follow, is going to be very relevant, especially is what I see in this reading. Okay, So a lot of secrets of betrayals or mistreatments, and people that are going to be probably ending their relationship, or people that know that need to end or just change the way they interact each other. Certain relationships that it was kind of obvious that they have to be over. This could happen. This could happen like in politics and between countries, between groups of people. And I think it's most probably obviously gonna happen between countries, especially between politicians and people, also religious people, okay? In between justice. And the last thing, it could be between like couples, and it could also involve the law, okay? A sense of justice, as a big sense of justice being expressed by public figures. That's what I say. And yes, let me see some advice for this thing. What is some advice for these events? If it is a big event, it's gonna be like not so good. It's gonna involve certain mass of people or actions taken by leadership. That's gonna affect a lot of people, and that's probably gonna be done unexpectedly but planned. It's gonna be a plan that's gonna be executed unexpectedly. It's gonna have a lot of people feeling a sense of real injustice, and a lot of people is gonna be asking for karma or justice to appear, okay? Especially around the world, and a lot of people is gonna be praying for that justice. And yeah, so what's the advice for this series of events, please? One advice. Decky, give me one advice. Today I don't feel like I don't hear any songs or things like that. Any other? Okay. Advice. Less. Good. Please. Any other advice? Decky, one final advice. Yeah. Okay, so we have some advice. So the advice is going to be a lot of people is going to have to deal with a lot of resentment, hate, anger, and ways to cope with pain. Okay, so trauma, people that goes through trauma, the advice would be to know that if you feel anger, resentment, hate somebody or a group of people, if you are unstable right now and you're overusing drugs or any other kind of coping mechanism that's not so adaptive, it's time to reconsider that. Okay, at least have in mind that is a response to, well, at first for trauma, and because your boundaries were closed, or you don't even have much boundaries and you were getting yourself in certain places that are filled with hate, anger, resentment, and judgment of people, and just plain dark energy, okay? And so for people that's really involved with dark energies, I think the call here is to level up the positive energy, so you can harmonize it all. You can harmonize your energy. And the good thing would be, like, if you know there's a lot of people that's hateful and you go along with them, well, don't expect to get to heaven kind of thing, you know? And it's not about like it's about really dark things, so some things are bad, but some things are really bad. So when you're around things that are really bad, then you really cannot expect that your life's gonna be so good. It's gonna be feeling good and light, and everything is gonna be feeling happy, and you're gonna be feeling love and hope and faith, and you're gonna feel close to God. And when you get close to these dark energies, it's obvious they're gonna be having nightmares, they're gonna be hating someone, and others are gonna be hating on you. That you're gonna have like hidden enemies and things like that, and you're gonna try to be taking action on yourself, like harming somebody or lashing out, having anger issues. It's just not good. Okay, so that's the advice. And other things is there is a lot of masculine energy, like in what's going on around the world, and especially in these events that I'm seeing right now. So the other advice is to connect more with feminine energy, but healthy feminine energy as well, because the advice is like literal, there is also some feminine energy that's in their bad, like so if it doesn't matter if it is like a feminine energy that's in the dark side or a masculine energy. If it is too controlling, if it is too domineering, then it's kind of like the same. It doesn't matter the gender. Like hate is hate, not even if it is like feminine hate or masculine hate. If you hate somebody, if you resent somebody, if you have you want to control somebody, it doesn't matter if he comes from the masculine or feminine energy. It's kind of like the same thing with different kind of spices, but it's kind of like the same thing. So it could be connecting on the feminine healthy power that you have. Probably I saw that a lot of people is going to be praying for divine feminine figures, like Virgin Mary, that kind of feminine energy that's very nurturing and unconditionally loving, but also that wants you to get better and wants you to be successful, things like that. Also, there is a lot of people that if certain relationships are not going well, anything that's going to be created from that is also probably going to be challenged. Okay, so just have that in mind. Anything that you manifest with someone, or probably what I see here is that leaders around the world someone doesn't want me to say that. They cannot expect that good things are going to come from hateful and anger-filled actions. Anything that's going to come from that is going to be successful or beautiful. It's going to be kind of the opposite. It's going to be bad, and it's going to be even scarier. Like literally, the call for leaderships is like, what do you want the world to look like in a couple of years? Because I think this message is you're creating something that's gonna scare you a lot in a couple of years. It's gonna scare you a lot. It's gonna have a lot of people scared. A lot of people scared. What else? So yeah. Also, certain people that's going through hard times, and things are gonna go around. What comes around, things go around, like the wheel of fortune kind of energy. So hold on, focus on healing, on working with your anger issues. Try to disconnect from conflict these times, because if you get into conflict a lot these times, it's gonna have wild repercussions for that, wild repercussions. And that goes for everyone around the planet, like politicians, and especially politicians, like famous people. It's gonna have wild consequences. But if you kind of focus on creating something that heals, this energy will probably lead to wild, beautiful consequences. And young people, this time is for studying, a lot of study. And I also have in mind that you really have to keep in mind that as a young group of people, you're always going to be trying to look for a leader. And if I'm getting to young people, like, you have the natural human need to have a leader, and you probably want to be a leader, or you want to follow a leader. Okay, and you have to be mindful, and you really need, at least that's the advice, and please study about how leadership roles work. And because otherwise you're going to be led to certain places, and you're going to discover when you're older, not now, that you are just young and you follow what you have around, and you really don't know the depths of the intentions behind the leaders that you follow. That's everything I'm going to say. And for slightly older people, and I also see there are certain people, especially between the ages of 18 and 30, no, 40, 18 and 40, kind of, that are really, really, really getting into these fights, like especially men or women. It doesn't matter the gender, but especially with their masculine energy, people with their masculine energy. So around the world, there's young politicians, like from 20 to 40 years old, that are doing certain things very recklessly, very impulsively, and a lot of young people is following you. A lot of people is following you, and these people probably will recognize certain things. So just have that in mind. Okay. If you're a leader, if you're trying to manipulate the masses, especially the young people is gonna know certain things in a couple of years, like in time. Not in a couple of years, but they're gonna know certain things in time, because these people is very intelligent. They're young, but they're very, very intelligent. And certain things are going to happen in the future that what leaders are trying to do, and how they lead them to war, for example, how they lead them to war, to compromise their lives, and maybe convincing them that, I got like a lot of people, like from 20 to 40s, and even more, older people that just like they have war and warriorship and being a soldier on the pedestal. It's like the best, the best that you can do as a man is being a soldier and going to war. That's the best a man can do, kind of energy. I don't know. It's not, I don't think it's illogical, like conflict is very, very addictive, but also very self-sabotaging. So I don't know, you choose one thing or the other. You either choose peace or you choose PTSD. Again, there is another really a focus on having in mind what is that you're creating. And good advice would be double Empress energy. Probably, I say that this time there is not so many feminine leadership in the top positions, but I think that is gonna change. Not maybe in a decade, between a decade. Probably we're gonna see more and more feminine energy being in the leadership roles. That's one bigger kind of thing that I see. Okay, and these leaderships are gonna be more focused on the economical side, and they're gonna have policies that are probably more, they can take better care of populations. But obviously, if they are in the best kind of energy, because if it is not, there's gonna be like neglect, like kind of like neglect energy. Yeah, like neglect energy. Neglect energy, a lot of neglect. Like, yeah. You know, okay. I want to finish this reading now, so let me just certain things that we need to confirm. Seems like there is a lot of, in the positive side, there is a lot of people this month that's gonna be, or these times, they're gonna be speaking about how we could create a world that's more considerate and nurturing and not neglecting everyone, and stop the greed, stop the excess and the disconnection that we have each other. It's like this music, we are the world, kind of like message. I think that energy is going to be very present this month, but also a lot of people that's not even there, dude. A lot of people that's going to be doing tricky things, tricky things. You know, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. A lot of people, I know that a lot of people know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. Okay, dark, like, there's a lot of things that are being done in the shadows, especially and people with hate, especially really dark energies. So a lot of things, like bad things, are going to be happening behind the scenes and based in hate and really bad stuff. And the advice is to remember that everything has like a repercussion and things go round. For leaders to be mindful that how they lead people and where they lead people. And for women or feminine energy, they're probably going to be taking more, or they're being called to take more space in their leadership positions. Maybe this reading is a call for more feminine energy in the top leadership around the world, because it's obvious that masculine are in the need for deep healing, you know. But I think it's going to be really difficult for this feminine energy to rule. I think that the dark forces, the masculine controlling energies, are going to try to sabotage that for real. They're going to try to destroy and control these things anyway, and they'll probably be trying to look this feminine energy like they are neglecting and like they are not effective, and yeah, and they also going to be attacking these uniting energy, like all the people that's trying to unite everyone, trying to be compassionate towards each other, to celebrate the diversity or celebrate the differences, to 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 celebrate our society, or everything that's positive. They're probably going to be challenged a lot, like a lot, and even they're going to be certain things that are going to be very tricky. Okay, it's like when a very feminine energy, very caring energy goes to the top unprotected, and there is literally someone that takes advantage of their beautiful heart, kind of thing. So I also think that a very strong feminine figure is going to really have to keep in mind about darker energies and how they're going to be trying to sabotage everything. And if a feminine energy, suddenly goes up around the world, and we have, for example, like America or the United Nations kind of thing, a lot of people think that these organizations or countries are very neglectful. So that's what I see. So in the end, the most important thing is, what do you want to create? What do you want to have? And where are you getting into? Because it could lead to, if you have like the best intentions, you really have to understand that we live in a world that right now is not in the best shape, especially in regards to hate and like those things. Hate, especially hate and anger and resentment. Okay, so that's the most important message. It's like this: even though we want people to be united, even though we want to create a world that's more suitable for everyone, and we have to accept that we can do that. But right now, just as of now, there is a lot of people that is not on the same page, and thinking that we can just grow something from this share page with that people is gonna be very difficult. So it's like a call to be grounded, to celebrate with groups that are close to you and nurture each other, but don't forget there's people that's going to be trying to challenge you. And that's probably what's going to be happening around the world, like this. There are going to be countries, organizations that are going to be literally saying and advocating for unity and peace and taking care of each other, but there is obvious blatant actions, and there is a very, very obvious neglect around the world, like an obvious state, emotional state and psychological state around the world that's really not there. That literally is not there, even though we try to convince ourselves. It is just not there, and that's what I could see. So the call is to introspect on these facts, and probably these institutions, a lot of people around the world is gonna think that they're neglectful, and they're gonna think that they're liars, and they just lie and lie. They're sneaky. They're really the dark forces. So I don't know, for leadership, real leadership that wants to look like they do something, probably what they're doing right now is not what people want. So it's very interesting. So the final question for this month is, what is it that world leadership wants to really create for us in a couple of years? What are they really doing? Are they really protecting and taking care of things? Or what are they doing? That's the final question. What are really the big institutions really doing? So thank you for listening to this reading. Remember, if you want personal readings, just go to my website 11n.com/thewellist. You can find the links down below in the description. I have a WhatsApp. You can book a video call through WhatsApp or through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook as well, and X. Just send me a message. I won't send you a message first, okay? Just have that in mind, because the Tarot sphere is filled with other people that, dedicate their lives to send messages. I don't do that, okay? You have to send me a message. So be very mindful of that. And I really wish you the best. Thank you again for listening to this podcast. And I'm Alan, your reader, but you can call me I like that nickname. And this was the Wellies for June 2025. And see you in the next reading. Bye.